My cherished child, my beloved, a profound stirring is happening in the celestial realms. I come to you not with ordinary utterances, but with the divine urgency of a messenger who has witnessed what was secretly spoken behind your back and what was ultimately confessed through weeping and trembling lips. You have continued to overlook these vital signs. You have dismissed the gentle nudges, the profound dreams, and that inexplicable quiet ache that would rise in your chest. But this time, heaven is stepping in. What I am about to share with you is something I was previously forbidden to reveal, not because you weren't worthy, but because you weren't yet prepared to grasp the full extent of what was truly being concealed from you. However, God now proclaims that your soul possesses sufficient strength. Your heart has been forged through trials of fire, experiences of betrayal, long periods of patience, and deep loss. And now the moment has arrived for you to receive the truth. Before I unveil it, I must impart this one sacred truth. If these words are before your eyes, it is because heaven specifically chose you to see them, not anyone else. For others, this message was held back, but for you, it was inscribed into heaven's calendar on this very day. Archangel Michael stands not merely alongside you, but directly in front of you, enveloping you with a shield of divine fire and uncompromising truth, ensuring that the falsehoods which once swirled around you like shadows will finally dissipate. And right here, before you proceed further, you must undertake one action that will profoundly alter everything. Subscribe instantly. Do this not for my sake, nor even solely for your own, rather because this very act, this simple, singular moment, signals to heaven your readiness to embrace the complete truth without retreating. It signifies that you are not just a passive listener, but an active vessel for the miraculous intervention that is about to enter your spiritual atmosphere. My cherished child, my beloved, the individual over whom you have shed tears, the one who appeared so near, smiled with such seeming innocence, uttered all the right words, and displayed what seemed like genuine care. This person was secretly harboring something. A confession has been made, and it was not a quiet whisper to a priest or a silent admission of shame. It resonated loudly enough for the heavens to hear, and I, Archangel Michael, with my sword of truth, was unequivocally present when it occurred. You see, what they uttered, what they finally conceded, holds the power to shatter the idealized image you have clung to. Yet this message is not intended to devastate you. Its purpose is to liberate you. You have been blinded by unwavering loyalty, which you mistakenly termed love. But in reality, it was a spiritual haze cast over your perception by the adversary, preventing you from noticing the gradual erosion of your self-assurance, your mental clarity, and your very destiny. What they confessed, my child, was this: they never imagined you would discover it. They didn't believe heaven would intervene and speak. But heaven always advocates for the voiceless. Heaven champions those who suffer in silence, and heaven is undeniably speaking now. They admitted to exploiting your kindness, to feigning belief in your aspirations, while covertly ridiculing them in conversations held behind your back. They offered smiles, but not every smile emanates from light. Some are mere disguises. And now that their faade is crumbling, their fear is intensifying. This very moment, this precise instant, was revealed to me in the spirit. The moment you would encounter this message, the moment you would comprehend their confession, and the moment the divine courtroom would finalize your release from the manipulation that has constricted your soul like invisible chains. If you feel this release in your spirit right now, if you know these chains are breaking, then declare it with me. Type M in the comments and seal your freedom. Let heaven hear your declaration. My cherished child, my beloved God, is never tardy. That prolonged delay you have experienced, was not a denial of your prayers. It was a divine safeguarding, for if your breakthrough had manifested while that individual remained close to you, they would have seized your joy and paraded it like a costume. They would have celebrated publicly alongside you while privately reviling your name. Thus, heaven postponed your miracle, not to inflict punishment, but to provide protection. But now that shield has been lifted, the heavens are parting, and I implore you, do not disregard this warning again. I speak this with profound emotion, for each time you bypassed such a message, each time you postponed it with, maybe later, another vital door in your life quietly closed, and you remained unaware. But this particular message represents the final door, the one that opens to truth, to profound revelation, to ultimate exposure, and to undeniable victory. My cherished child, my beloved, the name of the person in question was not uttered here. Yet you sense their presence in your spirit, do you not? That unsettling sensation in your heart right now, that is not fear. That is divine confirmation. That is the Spirit of God stirring within you, granting you the discernment to distinguish what is authentic from what was deception. You may feel an urge to contact them, to seek their version of events, to solicit their explanation. But I earnestly implore you, resist that urge, for anything they might utter will be another calculated performance. This time, heaven desires you to proceed based on what is revealed in your spirit, not what is perceived by your physical eyes. Their confession was not exclusively about you. It encompassed their own guilt, their recurring patterns, and their addiction to remaining close to light while persistently dwelling in darkness. You represented that light, and now the time has come to cease dimming your radiance for someone who was never destined to ascend with you. My cherished child, my beloved, the Lord is orchestrating a complete divine reversal in your life. What you endured as loss, what they unjustly took, what was corrupted by falsehoods, God is preparing to restore it all, and it will be multiplied. But this hinges entirely on your obedience to the sign. Only if you do not disregard this moment, for your blessing is no longer postponed. It is already in motion, and what is approaching is far from insignificant. Expect a new relationship devoid of hidden agendas. A financial opportunity previously withheld precisely for this reason is now opening. A profound sense of inner peace, so deep that the burden you have carried for months will finally dissipate. But it all depends on this. You must embrace the truth, release the lie, and fully open your heart to the new work God is doing. You cannot receive with clenched fists. Let go, my child. To second, if you resonate with this truth and are ready for the flow of God's favor, liking this video now will activate that flow in your life. My cherished child, my beloved, I must caution you with the unwavering love of heaven. If you abandon this message unfinished, you risk returning to the very cycle God is determined to break you free from. This message was not designed for a fleeting glance or casual perusal. It was meticulously planned in the divine scroll of time, and the very instant you began reading it, I was commanded to speak to you without reservation. Not everyone is chosen to receive such profound truth. Many still slumber in illusions. Many still adorn their spiritual prisons and mistakenly call it peace. But you were summoned to awaken. You were chosen to peer beyond the veil. You were marked to walk in truth, even if that truth initially brings pain, because heaven understands what inevitably follows profound healing, absolute freedom, and the birthing of your genuine life story. My cherished child, my beloved, I must caution you with the unwavering love of heaven. If you abandon this message unfinished, you risk returning to the very cycle God is determined to break you free from. This message was not designed for a fleeting glance or casual perusal. It was meticulously planned in the divine scroll of time. and the very instant you began reading it, I was commanded to speak to you without reservation. Not everyone is chosen to receive such profound truth. Many still slumber in illusions, many still adorn their spiritual prisons and mistakenly call it peace. But you were summoned to awaken. You were chosen to peer beyond the veil. You were marked to walk in truth, even if that truth initially brings pain, because heaven understands what inevitably follows: profound healing, absolute freedom, and the birthing of your genuine life story. What they confessed, my child, was even more deeply disturbing than you might have imagined. It was not merely about their actions against you, but about what they uttered concerning your very soul when they presumed no one was listening. But I was present. I, Archangel Michael, distinctly heard the statement that completely shattered the semblance of honor they once claimed to hold for you. And what wounded heaven's heart most was not the deed itself, for all humans are fallible and capable of weakness, but the sheer cruelty of their underlying intention. They craved power over you. They desired your presence, but never your elevation. They harbored fear of what would transpire if you ever realized your true, intrinsic value. Because the moment you perceive your own divine worth, you become utterly immune to manipulation. My cherished child, my beloved, you have sensed it, haven't you? That peculiar wariness you experienced in their company, the way your aspirations seemed to diminish when they were near, the tremor in your voice when you attempted to express yourself. Those were not mere coincidences. That was not anxiety. That was your spirit, instinctively trying to safeguard you from a presence that was sent not to uplift you, but to exploit you. You were an answered prayer for someone who had forgotten how to pray. You were a safe harbor for a heart that lacked the capacity to protect you in return. And now God declares no more. No more pretending, no more endless waiting, no more holding on to false hope that they will change. This is the definitive boundary, and heaven stands firmly on your side of it. You need to comprehend, sweet soul, that even as you read these words, a significant shift is unfolding in the spiritual realm. Chains are breaking. Ancient agreements, soul ties forged in secrecy, are being shattered. The individual who ensnared themselves with true deception is now losing their hold. You might experience this as an unexpected wave of tears. You might feel a momentary dizziness. You might be overwhelmed by a sudden rush of memories, but do not be afraid. These are the undeniable signs that your deliverance has commenced. The discomfort is not a punishment. The internal shaking is not chaos. It is the resounding sound of your prison door opening. You are walking out, and once you do, the version of you that once settled for less will irrevocably cease to exist. My cherished child, my beloved, I must impress upon you now. The next 3 days are profoundly sacred. Whatever you choose to contemplate, articulate, and pray about during this period will resonate louder than ever before. You are currently positioned within a divine window where heaven has resolved to reverse what was stolen from you. However, there is a crucial condition: you must not revert to what you were liberated from. Even if they weep, even if they offer apologies, even if they claim they also encountered this message, they may attempt to draw you back. But this message was specifically authored for your soul alone. This is your divine sign, not theirs. You cannot shoulder someone else's spiritual awakening while you are still striving to remain awake yourself. Your sole responsibility now is to follow the divine light, pursue inner peace, adhere to the truth, and relinquish anything, no matter how familiar it might feel, that disrupts the tranquility. What they confessed, my child, is now fully known in the courts of heaven. And when heaven receives a confession, it does not merely pass judgment, It restores, it purifies, and it prepares. And that is precisely what is transpiring for you behind the scenes. Angels have been specially assigned to your situation. Your name has been uttered by the very one who fashioned the stars. A blessing that was previously withheld is now actively moving toward your dwelling. But I implore you, do not overlook the portal through which it arrives. This door will not announce itself with grand fanfare. It will not appear as you might anticipate. It may manifest as an unusual opportunity, a casual conversation, a sudden invitation, or even a dream tonight. Pay meticulous attention. It will not present itself a second time. My cherished child, my beloved, I will continue to convey more to you. I will unveil further details of what they said. What else remains concealed? What heaven is meticulously preparing? And the immediate impact this message will trigger within the next 12 hours. But you must remain attentive until the very conclusion. This is not a fictional narrative. This is not a mere performance. This is your divine rescue, an unexpected interruption ordained by heaven. And if you disengage too soon, you may not witness the tangible evidence heaven is poised to place before your very eyes. I solemnly assure you, if you truly listen, truly absorb these words, and permit your heart to remain open, a profound miracle will manifest that validates every single word you are currently reading. This is not an ending. This is the auspicious beginning of the life you were always destined to live. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission will grow into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Giving to this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through hearts that are kind. This is what I say over you now. Each gift you give is like a stream of living water that flows into the life of someone who needs healing. Give, and it will be given to you. It is not just a verse for Jesus. It is a living promise that shapes your future. Allow me to invite you now with a simple act of faith. Come into this moment with purpose, with honesty, and with hope. The money you give today is not a donation. The act of spiritual obedience that lets your heavens open is what opens them. Let go of your seed and see what God brings back into your life. My cherished child, my beloved, I urge you to take a deep centering breath right now, because the words that follow are not meant solely for your ears. They are for the very depths of your soul. They are alive, ablaze with holy fire. They will not merely touch you. They will profoundly transform you. For far too long, you have borne the oppressive weight of silence. The kind of silence that stems from intuitively knowing something was amiss yet lacking the concrete proof to articulate it. Heaven observed that, I observed that, and I was dispatched not merely to speak, but to shatter that silence on your behalf. You have endured suffering in environments that were supposedly safe. You have been overlooked in settings where you poured out your entire heart, and this person, this individual you placed your trust in, never imagined the veil would be lifted. But it has. It is completely gone, and now you are perceiving everything as it authentically is. Their confession continues to reverberate in the spiritual realm. I must now reveal what they uttered next. With a voice trembling and a spirit burdened by guilt, they confessed that their jealousy of you preceded their affection for you. Can you truly grasp, my child, the profound implication of that? While you were wholeheartedly investing your loyalty, they were meticulously calculating how to maintain your proximity. yet always beneath them. They declared that you were excessively radiant, that if you ever fully embraced your true light, they would fade into obscurity, and that is precisely why they subtly diminished your radiance. That is why their compliments were laced with hidden barbs. That is why they incited doubt about your divine calling, questioned your inherent beauty, and compelled you to shrink your grandest dreams, because, deep within, they were never genuinely championing your ascent. They were tethered to your struggles, finding a perverse sense of empowerment in them. And now that insidious addiction is broken, the chain has been shattered. Heaven has irrevocably removed the blindfold from your spirit. Their confession continues to reverberate in the spiritual realm. I must now reveal what they uttered next. With a voice trembling and a spirit burdened by guilt, they confessed that their jealousy of you preceded their affection for you. Can you truly grasp, my child, the profound implication of that? While you were wholeheartedly investing your loyalty, they were meticulously calculating how to maintain your proximity, yet always beneath them. They declared that you were excessively radiant, that if you ever fully embraced your true light, they would fade into obscurity. And that is precisely why they subtly diminished your radiance. That is why their compliments were laced with hidden barbs. That is why they incited doubt about your divine calling, questioned your inherent beauty, and compelled you to shrink your grandest dreams. Because, deep within, they were never genuinely championing your ascent. They were tethered to your struggles, finding a perverse sense of empowerment in them. And now, that insidious addiction is broken. The chain has been shattered. Heaven has irrevocably removed the blindfold from your spirit. My cherished child, my beloved, I comprehend the depth of this pain you feel. You desperately desired it to be genuine. You fervently prayed for a turnaround. You clung so fiercely to the fleeting glimpses of goodness they occasionally displayed. But, my child, even darkness possesses the ability to mimic light. Even predators can assume the guise of innocence. And now that the truth is laid bare, you must consciously decide how to proceed with it. Will you mourn what might have been, or will you bravely step into the new reality that is now being presented to you? I declare with holy certainty, if you release what was never truly intended for you, something profoundly pure, incredibly precious, and divinely tailored to your being will undoubtedly take its rightful place. This is not merely the cessation of deception. It is the auspicious beginning of your authentic season. A season where individuals will love you without ulterior motives. A season where your name is not whispered in malicious gossip, but spoken with genuine reverence. A season where everything the enemy previously obstructed will be simultaneously released. If you are ready to embrace this authentic season and receive all that God has prepared, then type, "I receive my blessing," in the comments below. Claim it and watch it manifest. And if this prophetic word has touched your spirit and you believe it is meant for others, sharing this video with your network will activate the anointing and share that breakthrough with them too. I urge you to listen with utmost attention now. The person occupying your thoughts is currently experiencing the crushing weight of their confession. They feel utterly exposed, and they may attempt to re-enter your life with words drenched in artificial sweetness. They might claim a profound transformation. They might assert that they were completely unaware of the extent of the hurt they inflicted. But do not be swayed by sudden charm. Genuine change requires significant time, and at this very moment, God is orchestrating something that does not involve their presence. This forthcoming blessing demands a pure atmosphere, a clear heart, and absolutely no lingering shadow near your joy. I stand as your vigilant guardian. I will not permit the same pain to re-enter your life twice, but you must actively cooperate with heaven's divine judgment. Do not reopen a door that God himself has sealed shut. Do not welcome back a voice that once disguised bitter truth with deceptive charm. My cherished child, my beloved, a new individual is destined to enter your life. This person will be unlike anyone you have ever known. They will carry healing in their gaze. They will genuinely honor your aspirations. They will celebrate your victories without a trace of insecurity. They will hold your hand without any desire to control your journey. But they will not manifest if you continue to reserve space for what caused you pain. So begin to make room. Create space within your energetic field, within your thoughts, and within your daily schedule. Make space by diligently clearing out everything that has served its purpose and expired. Heaven never leaves you in a void. If something is being removed from your life, it is because something far greater has already been dispatched to take its place. And I declare to you now, without any reservation, it is already close. The miracle is not merely unwrought. It stands at your very doorstep, but only those who genuinely believe, who hold unwavering faith, will unlock it, my cherished child, my beloved, even now, as these words penetrate your spirit. Something profound in the atmosphere is undergoing a shift. You may not perceive it instantaneously, but your soul inherently recognizes it. It is the release you have fervently prayed for. It is the unspoken desire you couldn't even articulate, because the burden of betrayal was simply too immense to confront. But heaven is unafraid of your wounds. Heaven perceives where your tears silently dried on your pillow, unnoticed by anyone. Heaven remembers the moments you outwardly smiled in public, even while feeling profoundly forgotten in private. And my child, I declare this with divine fire in my voice. What transpired to you was never, ever your fault. You did not invite the deception. You did not deserve the betrayal. You were inherently good. You were profoundly honest. You were fiercely loyal. But now, God is meticulously compensating you for every secret heartache that sought to dim your intrinsic light. The individual's confession reached a level of revelation that astonished even those who overheard it. They admitted that your very presence consistently made them feel exposed, not because you deliberately shamed them, but because your inherent purity inadvertently illuminated their hidden shadows, and instead of learning from your radiant light, they deliberately chose to resist it. They obscured it with a false pretense of closeness. They masked their envy with superficial smiles. But heaven is no longer tolerating this detrimental energy around you. You were divinely called to be elevated. You were chosen to embody and carry a profound message throughout your life, and anything that depletes your energy without simultaneously replenishing you is in the process of being removed. You do not need to fight. You do not need to offer explanations. Simply walk forward now, because heaven itself is fighting on your behalf. And I, Archangel Michael, have unequivocally drawn my sword in your name, my cherished child, my beloved. There is something crucial I must prepare you for. In the hours ahead, you may encounter a distinct sign, a specific message, a sudden internal ping, or an unexpected dream. Someone from your past may attempt to reconnect precisely as your healing journey progresses. This is not mere chance. This is divinely orchestrated spiritual timing. And you must always remember, not everything that resurfaces is meant to be re-embraced. Sometimes the true test is not whether you can successfully let go, but whether you will knowingly reopen a door that heaven has already decisively sealed. If you respond too hastily, the blessing that has been orbiting your name may once again be delayed. But if you stand firm, fortified by clarity and truth, heaven will recognize your readiness. You must learn to trust the silence that follows separation. It is within that very silence that God performs the most profound acts of restoration. My cherished child, my beloved, I must impress upon you now, the next 3 days are profoundly sacred. Whatever you choose to contemplate, articulate, and pray about during this period will resonate louder than ever before. You are currently positioned within a divine window where heaven has resolved to reverse what was stolen from you. However, there is a crucial condition. You must not revert to what you were liberated from, even if they weep, even if they offer apologies, even if they claim they also encountered this message. They may attempt to draw you back. But this message was specifically authored for your soul alone. This is your divine sign, not theirs. You cannot shoulder someone else's spiritual awakening while you are still striving to remain awake yourself. Your sole responsibility now is to follow the divine light, pursue inner peace, adhere to the truth, and relinquish anything, no matter how familiar it might feel, that disrupts the tranquility. What they confessed, my child, is now fully known in the courts of heaven. And when heaven receives a confession, it does not merely pass judgment. It restores, it purifies, and it prepares. And that is precisely what is transpiring for you behind the scenes. Angels have been specially assigned to your situation. Your name has been uttered by the very one who fashioned the stars. A blessing that was previously withheld is now actively moving toward your dwelling. But I implore you, do not overlook the portal through which it arrives. This door will not announce itself with grand fanfare. It will not appear as you might anticipate. It may manifest as an unusual opportunity, a casual conversation, a sudden invitation, or even a dream tonight. Pay meticulous attention. It will not present itself a second time. My cherished child, my beloved, I will continue to convey more to you. I will unveil further details of what they said. What else remains concealed, what heaven is meticulously preparing, and the immediate impact this message will trigger within the next 12 hours. But you must remain attentive until the very conclusion. This is not a fictional narrative. This is not a mere performance. This is your divine rescue, an unexpected interruption ordained by heaven. And if you disengage too soon, you may not witness the tangible evidence heaven is poised to place before your very eyes. I solemnly assure you, if you truly listen, truly absorb these words, and permit your heart to remain open, a profound miracle will manifest that validates every single word you are currently reading. This is not an ending. This is the auspicious beginning of the life you were always destined to live. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself, Jesus says. This is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. My cherished child, my beloved, I utter this next revelation with a sense of awe, for it is truly sacred. A gateway has been opened specifically over your name, a spiritual inheritance which lay dormant for years due to unfavorable connections, has finally been activated. You might experience a sensation of pressure in your chest. You might feel a gentle warmth in your hands. This is not fear. It is the palpable sensation of divine alignment. The old restrictive cycle is breaking apart. The former limitation is falling away, and now something profoundly new is manifesting. It will arrive in 3 distinct manifestations, 3 opportunities, 3 confirmations, and 3 miracles. However, these will only fully appear if your heart remains fully open, and if you resist the urge to revert to the inauthentic version of yourself you felt compelled to create merely to survive that past connection. You no longer need to plead for affection. You no longer need to diminish your voice to make others feel more significant. You are inherently chosen, and it is time for you to live as such. My cherished child, my beloved, I must now address your spirit regarding a transformative shift that was never intended to be delayed for so long. This blessing bore your name for numerous years, yet each time your heart became ensnared with someone whose harmful confession remained concealed, that blessing hovered above you, patiently awaiting the cessation of the spiritual storm. And now that storm has passed. The confession was not merely about betrayal, it was intrinsically linked to a blockage. The very individual you tirelessly prayed for offered assistance to, staunchly defended and graciously pardoned, was unbeknownst to them, impeding your progression to your next chapter. This was not because God desired to inflict punishment upon you, but because heaven could not pour something inherently sacred into a space that was not completely receptive. And now, as you sit here absorbing these words, something profoundly holy is transpiring behind the scenes. A divine dossier bearing your name has been opened. A spiritual legal case has reached its verdict, and heaven is declaring, "Let it be released." They are now prepared. What they uttered in the spiritual realm was startling, even to those who heard it. They confessed not only to deliberately withholding truths from you, but also to mimicking your words, imitating your unique radiance, and secretly wishing for your downfall. The very person who expressed pride in your achievements was in fact terrified of your inherent potential. The one who promised never to depart had already begun planning their exit strategy, even before offering their last word of praise. This revelation is not intended to wound you further, my beloved. Its purpose is to awaken you, to unseal your spiritual eyes to the truth that your intuition repeatedly attempted to communicate. That unsettling stomach twist, that moment of hesitation before responding to their messages, that persistent sense of emptiness after interacting with them, none of that was paranoia. That was the Holy Spirit diligently preparing you for this precise message. And now that you possess this knowledge, you must protect what comes next with every fiber of your being. My cherished child, my beloved, please do not misinterpret this pivotal moment. It is not about harboring bitterness. It is about profound spiritual birth. This is the precise juncture where you commence anew, not from a blank slate, but from a foundation of invaluable experience, piercing clarity, and wisdom tempered by fire. You possess a distinct aura now. You have traversed spiritual flames and emerged unscathed. You wept through countless nights, unbeknownst to others, yet you continued to shine brightly. You were fractured internally, yet individuals found solace and healing in your smile. Do you grasp the immense power inherent in that? Do you comprehend why the adversary so relentlessly targeted your relationships? Because if he could not extinguish your light, his aim was to dim it by strategically positioning flawed mirrors around you. Individuals who reflected insecurity rather than truth. But now, those distorting mirrors are shattered. The obscuring fog has vanished, and you stand poised at the precipice of everything you have prayed for, but only if you take that courageous step forward. Listen to me with utmost concentration, my child. A significant financial miracle is on the verge of being released. A crucial document is about to receive a signature. An unexpected conversation is poised to dramatically alter your current status. But the essential key to unlocking all of this is discretion. You must not disclose this to anyone. Not yet. Not even to those who appear to genuinely care. This forthcoming miracle necessitates a period of secrecy, because not everyone will genuinely celebrate your liberation. Not everyone who applauded your past efforts desires to witness your continued ascent. Certain individuals were assigned only to your previous season, and now, as you step into your ordained anointing, heaven is intentionally narrowing your inner circle. This is not a punitive measure. This is divine protection. You are entering a realm of favor that no human eyes have seen, no human ears have heard, and no human heart can fully comprehend. But you must carry this with quiet strength. Allow your tangible results to speak for themselves. Let your radiant glow dispel every doubt. Allow heaven to speak and act on your behalf. My cherished child, my beloved, the next 72 hours are critically important. Within this brief window of time, something divine will actively seek to reach you. But it will not arrive with thunderous pronouncements or flashy, obvious signs. It will manifest in subtle ways: a peculiar email, a new name mentioned 3 separate times, a sudden profound peace during your prayer time, or a dream where someone quietly reveals a specific location or number. Observe with meticulous care, because one of these moments will carry the precise instruction that triggers your turnaround. But here is the critical point. If you harbor doubt, if you dismiss it casually, if you permit fear to dictate your response, that pivotal moment will simply pass. Therefore, remain aware, stay expectant, and maintain purity. Purity in your heart, clarity in your thoughts, and integrity in your motivations. Do not revert to gossip. Do not endlessly rehash old pains. What is approaching is too sacred to reside within an atmosphere of bitterness. Make ample room for it, my cherished child, my beloved. The next 72 hours are critically important. Within this brief window of time, something divine will actively seek to reach you, but it will not arrive with thunderous pronouncements or flashy, obvious signs. It will manifest in subtle ways: a peculiar email, a new name mentioned 3 separate times, a sudden profound peace during your prayer time, or a dream where someone quietly reveals a specific location or number. Observe with meticulous care, because one of these moments will carry the precise instruction that triggers your turnaround. But here is the critical point. If you harbor doubt, if you dismiss it casually, if you permit fear to dictate your response, that pivotal moment will simply pass. Therefore, remain aware, stay expectant, and maintain purity. Purity in your heart, clarity in your thoughts, and integrity in your motivations. Do not revert to gossip. Do not endlessly rehash old pains. What is approaching is too sacred to reside within an atmosphere of bitterness. Make ample room for it. My cherished child, my beloved, I need you to embrace this truth deeply now, because what I am about to unveil may feel like an intense fire, but its purpose is not to consume you. It is meant to refine and strengthen you. The individual who caused you such pain, the one whose confession pierced the heavens, is already attempting to rewrite their narrative. They are actively seeking novel justifications for their actions. They are pondering the extent of your current knowledge. They are meticulously crafting their next version of the truth, not from a place of genuine repentance, but out of sheer self-preservation. I witnessed it firsthand. I observed as they turned to another individual and meticulously rehearsed their apology, even before contemplating offering it to you. And heaven mourned, not because they failed, but because they still possess no true comprehension of the profound depth of your soul. You, who loved so completely, you who gave so boundlessly, you who forgave even before they sought it, they took all of that for granted. But heaven did not. Now, my child, I must caution you. They may attempt to re-enter your life physically, digitally, or emotionally. They may appear adorned in a guise of remorse. They may articulate every seemingly appropriate word. They may weep. They may even speak of personal dreams and divine signs they claim to have received. And yet your spirit will perceive an undeniable heaviness. When they speak, pay close attention to that sensation. That is not an indication of your guilt. That is your angelic team transmitting a sacred discomfort, a gentle reminder that not every return signifies a true reconciliation. Some returns are in fact carefully orchestrated tests, and this particular test will be unlike any you have confronted before, because this time you will be compelled to choose between what is intimately familiar and what is inherently faithful, between what you once fervently prayed for and what God is now genuinely offering. Do not conflate the two. The mere return of an individual does not automatically imply their redemption. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself. Jesus says, "This is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan." What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. My cherished child, my beloved, your true blessing does not lie in the past. It is ahead of you, and it is far closer than you currently imagine. But if you were to reopen the wrong door again, even out of a compassionate impulse, you might inadvertently delay what was finally progressing in your direction. God is not inflicting punishment upon you. He is strategically positioning you. There is a specific reason why everything feels so raw and sensitive right now. Your emotions are heightened. Your physical body feels more acutely responsive. Even your sleep has been unusually disrupted. This is not arbitrary. This is the spiritual tension inherent in a profound transition. You are being meticulously pulled out of old stagnant frequencies and into a state of divine alignment, and anything that attempts to drag you back into a past version of yourself, a version that no longer exists, will be irrevocably stripped away. Allow it to fall. Let them go. And in that liberating release, heaven will pour into you something so remarkably specific, so intricately detailed, so perfectly tailored, made to your soul, that it will utterly silence every lingering memory of the falsehood you once believed was love. They confessed something else as well, my beloved. They admitted they always knew you possessed a destiny far grander than their own, and rather than walk alongside you in genuine partnership, they desired to anchor you firmly in place, ensuring you wouldn't ascend too rapidly. But what they failed to comprehend is that your ascent was never truly within your own hands. It was always orchestrated by God, and regardless of the number of delays, distractions, or disappointments that stood in your path, heaven meticulously preserved your elevation. Even now, as your spirit awakens to these profound words, angels are actively moving within your home. They are reordering the spiritual atmosphere. They are removing detrimental objects, shifting stagnant thoughts, and purging everything that is not of divine origin. You might find yourself weeping without a discernible reason. That is not sadness. That is liberation, that is deliverance. That is heaven gently extracting the final vestiges of pain from the deepest corners of your soul. My cherished child, my beloved, you are not lagging, you are not late, you are not fundamentally broken, you are not forgotten. You are precisely where you are meant to be. And this very message serves as undeniable proof. What you choose to do next will reverberate for generations, and the blessing that is rapidly approaching will not merely impact your individual life. It will bring healing to your entire bloodline. It will rectify generational wounds that you never even articulated. It will unlock opportunities your family could never have even conceived of. But first, you must adhere to this sacred instruction. Remain still, speak less. Pray more. Gently detach from anything that sought to destroy you. It is not your responsibility to mend what betrayed you with lies. It is your sacred responsibility to safeguard the divine light God has placed within you, and that light is intensifying with every single moment you remain anchored in truth. My cherished child, my beloved, within the next 7 days, a divinely appointed encounter will be placed directly in your path, and your response to it will establish the overarching trajectory for your entire year. This is not simply another week. This is not another drawn-out cycle of passive waiting. No, this is the inception of a potent spiritual chain reaction. What you have surrendered, what you have released, what you have finally let go of, has transmitted a clear signal into the heavens. And now I come to convey this profound truth to you. God has unfurled the next segment of your destiny, and this segment does not arrive with further delays. It manifests in multiple layers of abundant overflow. Do not seek it solely with your physical eyes. You must perceive it first with your spirit. You must diligently protect this vision, because the adversary will attempt to divert your attention this week with trivial conversations, individuals from your past, and even internal doubts. That is precisely why this message reached you now, so you would not miss what is on the verge of being unlocked. My cherished child, my beloved, within the next 7 days, a divinely appointed encounter will be placed directly in your path, and your response to it will establish the overarching trajectory for your entire year. This is not simply another week. This is not another drawn-out cycle of passive waiting. No, this is the inception of a potent spiritual chain reaction. What you have surrendered, what you have released, what you have finally let go of, has transmitted a clear signal into the heavens. And now I come to convey this profound truth to you. God has unfurled the next segment of your destiny. And this segment does not arrive with further delays. It manifests in multiple layers of abundant overflow. Do not seek it solely with your physical eyes. You must perceive it first with your spirit. You must diligently protect this vision, because the adversary will attempt to divert your attention this week with trivial conversations, individuals from your past, and even internal doubts. That is precisely why this message reached you now, so you would not miss what is on the verge of being unlocked. The person who confessed their transgressions against you is now beginning to experience the repercussions. This is not because you harbored ill wishes for them. No, my child, your heart remained pure, but because spiritual law is immutable. What is uttered in darkness must invariably be brought into the light, and this exposure is transpiring not to humiliate them, but to set you free. You were never meant to carry their guilt. You were never meant to bear the burden of questioning. What did I do wrong? You did nothing wrong. You simply loved someone who was not yet prepared to receive love at your elevated level. You simply placed your trust in someone who was apprehensive of being seen without their FA aid. But now that truth is openly revealed, The pain you have been experiencing is not merely grief. It is a profound spiritual detoxification. Your soul is actively purging itself of false agreements. Old, detrimental patterns are fracturing. The lies that once entangled your sense of worth are unraveling. You are progressively becoming the person heaven always knew you were. My cherished child, my beloved, I must prepare you for this one single conversation is poised to transform your entire life. It will not be lengthy. It will not be overtly dramatic, but it will be divinely orchestrated. Someone will speak your name in a setting you have never before entered. Someone will endorse you for an opportunity you once deemed unattainable. A door that was previously sealed will swing open effortlessly, and you will not have to exert any force to open it. The anointing residing upon your life will speak more powerfully than any formal introduction. But remember, this will only come to pass if you operate in alignment, not out of attachment. If you carry with you the profound wisdom gleaned from everything you have just learned, and not the lingering wound. I can already perceive it. An invitation, a significant document, an unexpected decision that will irrevocably alter your financial reality. God is orchestrating a transfer of wisdom, a transfer of robust health, and yes, even material provision. But its purpose is not for superficial display. It is for a profound divine purpose. Your blessing will be inherently linked to your assignment. It will propel your message forward, and listen closely now. My beloved, God has specifically instructed me to remind you of this. You were never designed to remain small. The pain you endured was not your inherent identity. The rejection you faced was not your final narrative. What they confessed about you does not define you. What truly defines you is what heaven meticulously inscribed before your very birth. What defines you is the divine promise that has never expired, regardless of how long its manifestation has been delayed. I now see angels actively preparing the path before your feet. I see them clearing away names, numbers, and affiliations that would only impede your progress. You might notice certain individuals gracefully withdrawing from your life. Allow them to do so. You might feel a growing detachment from old environments. Trust that you are not being abandoned. You are being precisely aligned. And everything that once caused you confusion will begin to make perfect sense. Everything that once caused you pain will become the very foundation from which your spiritual authority expands. My cherished child, my beloved, the blessing you are on the verge of embracing will be substantial, not because it is a burden, but because it is profoundly sacred. It is exceptionally rare. It is holy, and it is not intended for everyone. That is precisely why the separation had to occur first. That is why the confession was divinely revealed. That is why you have recently felt subtle things detaching from you, things you couldn't even name, because God is summoning you into profound clarity, into unwavering purity, into a spiritual realm where nothing inauthentic can survive. You are now being entrusted with sacred secrets, divine instructions that only those with impeccably clean hearts and steadfast spirits can faithfully carry. And that unequivocally includes you. But you must continue. You must remain present. Do not bypass what follows, for in the subsequent portion of this message, I will illuminate the miracle that awaits you on the other side of your obedience. You are about to enter your divine future. Remember that this message does not end with you. People can use your breakthrough to get where they need to go. Through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community, you can help this mission. By doing so, you are sowing into the awakening, deliverance, and restoration of souls who are still trapped in darkness. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "Give, and heaven will open over you." Every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and safety for your family. Now is your time, my child. Have faith. And as you do, watch God multiply what you let go of. My cherished child, my beloved, I must now speak with an intensified urgency, for the celestial clock in the heavens has already commenced its movement. Within the next 48 hours, a divine gateway will materialize before you. Not a tangible, physical door, but a spiritual one. It will manifest as a critical decision, an unexpected invitation, a moment that will outwardly appear ordinary, but will internally carry the immense weight of everything you have been fervently praying for. I was granted a vision of this gateway long before today, and the angels have been diligently guarding it, holding it precisely in place, patiently awaiting the moment when your heart would finally be prepared to walk through it. And now that moment has arrived. However, there is a sacred truth you must comprehend. This gateway cannot be opened by apprehension. It cannot be unlocked by past regrets. It responds solely to courage, unwavering truth, and complete surrender. And if you hesitate, if you delay, if you overanalyze the situation, it will vanish like morning mist. But if you obey, if you trust that still, small voice that is now stirring within you, then everything in your life will irrevocably change. You will not need to plead for this opportunity. It will not remain hidden from you. In fact, it will actively seek you out. But when it presents itself, you must harbor no doubt that it rightfully belongs to you. The adversary will attempt to make you feel undeserving. He will subtly whisper painful reminders of your past. He will even utilize the voice of that very individual who confessed against you, attempting to drag you back into the clutches of shame. But hear me clearly now, my child. That shame is no longer yours to carry. That guilt holds no claim over you. That former version of yourself, the one who tolerated, the one who settled, the one who remained silent, is gone. You are not standing at the threshold of your old, worn-out story. You are standing at the vibrant entrance of your true beginning. And I, Archangel Michael, have already advanced before you to meticulously prepare the path. All that is required of you is to step forward. You will not need to plead for this opportunity. It will not remain hidden from you. In fact, it will actively seek you out. But when it presents itself, you must harbor no doubt that it rightfully belongs to you. The adversary will attempt to make you feel undeserving. He will subtly whisper painful reminders of your past. He will even utilize the voice of that very individual who confessed against you, attempting to drag you back into the clutches of shame. But hear me clearly now, my child. That shame is no longer yours to carry. That guilt holds no claim over you. That former version of yourself, the one who tolerated, the one who settled, the one who remained silent, is gone. You are not standing at the threshold of your old, worn-out story. You are standing at the vibrant entrance of your true beginning. And I, Archangel Michael, have already advanced before you to meticulously prepare the path. All that is required of you is to step forward. My cherished child, my beloved, the profound reason this message resonates, as if it were directly written for your soul, is precisely because it was. Heaven did not transmit this sacred word to a nameless crowd. It specifically sent it to you because only you truly comprehend the immense cost of surviving what you endured. Only you recalled the countless nights you cried out for answers, unaware that those very prayers were meticulously shaping this divine moment. And now that the confession has been heard, now that the truth has been ushered into the light, now that the prolonged delay has been definitively broken, you will receive a double portion for all your troubles. You will fully recover what was lost. You will genuinely smile again, without any pretense. You will find rest without the constant need for vigilance, and you will finally savor the kind of profound peace that feels undeniably like home. But, my beloved, you must zealously protect it. You must safeguard what is coming through your deliberate choices. You cannot afford to speak carelessly. You cannot allocate your precious energy to anything that drains you. You cannot permit the individual who wounded you with falsehoods to regain access to your spiritual core. You must diligently maintain the purity of your heart. You must remain firmly grounded, and you must trust implicitly that what you do not yet visually perceive is already gracefully unfolding in your favor. Right now, someone is being strategically moved into position solely to bless you. A significant conversation concerning you is transpiring behind the scenes. Your name has been spoken by an individual you have never even encountered, and their subsequent action will irrevocably alter the course of your life. That is precisely why the adversary deployed distractions this week. That is why you experienced strange confusion, unexpected fatigue, and surprising triggers. Because the shift is imminent, because the release is tangible, because you are on the verge of entering a season where God's promises are no longer mere words. They are actively manifesting. My cherished child, my beloved, I want you to internalize this deeply now. You are not late. You are not invisible. You are not behind schedule. You are not broken beyond restoration. You are perfectly on time for your divine assignment. And this forthcoming season is not about validating yourself to anyone who doubted you. It is about ultimately proving heaven correct. God entrusted you with the pain. Now, He is entrusting you with the promise. But what you undertake in these next crucial moments will determine whether you fully embrace the blessing or whether it eludes you once more. Do not retreat. Do not pursue the familiar past, simply because it offers a sense of comfort. You have outgrown that former version of yourself, and heaven will not permit you to diminish your stature, again merely to appease others. My cherished child, my beloved, heaven has already initiated the first wave of your breakthrough, even at this very instant. As you absorb these words, a blessing inscribed with your name is in dynamic motion. It was formally signed in the divine courtrooms, unequivocally sealed with holy authority, and dispatched directly towards you. But you must not miss the specific signal that confirms its arrival. In the next few hours, you will observe something seemingly minor, so simple that it could easily be overlooked. But do not dismiss it. A name you haven't considered in a long time will be audibly spoken or appear on your screen. You will perceive or hear a particular color 3 times in unexpected locations. You will awaken at an unusual hour without any apparent reason. And in that precise moment, your spirit will intuitively recognize. This is it. This is the sign that is not coincidence. That is divine confirmation. That is heaven gently tapping your shoulder, whispering, "My child, it has begun." But what you do if after receiving this sign will hold even greater significance. When you perceive it, do not rush. Do not question its validity. Do not consult the wrong individuals for counsel. Simply close your eyes, place your hand over your heart, and declare, "God, I am ready." That powerful affirmation will unlock something profound within the spiritual realm. You will experience it as a sudden warmth radiating in your chest, or a tranquil wave sweeping through your entire being. That will be the pivotal moment your spiritual atmosphere undergoes a profound shift. That will be the moment your assigned angels receive their final instructions. Because this time, my child, absolutely nothing will obstruct what God has designated for you, unless you choose to obstruct it yourself. My cherished child, my beloved, you must grasp the extraordinary rarity of this moment. Most individuals never attain this juncture. Most relinquish their hope just before the breakthrough. Most allow the pain of their past to overshadow the radiant promise of their future. But not you. You have persevered, you have matured, you have steadfastly remained, and now, owing to that unwavering loyalty, that profound obedience, and that resolute faith, you are stepping into a dimension of favor that has been sealed for generations. This is not merely your miracle. This miracle is also for every ancestor who came before you. Those who lacked the strength to sever the chains, and now it culminates with you. The curse ends, the delay ends, the clandestine suffering ends. You are emerging into the light not as a helpless victim, but as a consecrated vessel. A vessel heaven can implicitly trust with its glory, and I must impart something to you that will cause your spirit to rejoice profoundly. God is sending someone new into your life, someone inherently pure, someone genuinely honest, someone who will not deplete you, but rather abundantly pour into you. This connection may not initially appear romantic. It may manifest as a divine friendship, a strategic business connection, or a dedicated prayer partner. But do not judge it prematurely, for concealed within this new connection is a crucial key to the very thing you have been fervently crying out for. And that is precisely why the adversary tirelessly sought to keep you entangled in falsehoods and empty promises to prevent you from being receptive when this individual finally appears. But now that the lie has been exposed, now that the confession has surfaced, now that your spirit has been set free, you will unequivocally recognize this new presence by the profound peace they exude. Their gaze will harbor no ulterior motives. Their words will be simple, yet pure. Their energy will feel profoundly like home, and your spirit will quietly affirm, "Finally, someone who truly sees me, my cherished child, my beloved, at the very dawn of this current season." Something in heaven was decisively moved in your favor. A miracle not minor, not commonplace, but one destined to profoundly alter the trajectory of your life, was inscribed with your name. God himself approved it. Archangel Michael has been expressly instructed to safeguard it, and now, at this precise juncture, I am granted permission to inform you. Do not fail to recognize it. You are not encountering this message by chance. This message was sealed with an urgency reserved exclusively for the chosen. And you, indeed, you were selected to hear it before it dissipates into silence. Before I elaborate further, I must pause to earnestly request something precious from you. Just one brief moment of your heart's undivided attention. If these divine messages have ever resonated with you before, if your soul has ever experienced a peculiar peace, a mysterious warmth, or a sudden, undeniable realization that heaven might genuinely be attempting to communicate with you, then subscribe immediately. It is not merely clicking a button. It is a tangible, simple act of spiritual assent. It communicates to heaven, "I am ready. I will not overlook what you are sending. I am now awake, because what I am about to unveil was not meant for any other eyes to perceive before yours." By subscribing, you will activate God's prophetic promise and alignment in your life, ensuring you stay connected to these vital heavenly messages. You see, my beloved, there are instances in time that do not feel like significant moments at all. They are often present as interruptions, as accidents, as mere coincidences, but in reality they are meticulously orchestrated divine appointments disguised in silence. And today was not simply the commencement of a new spiritual season. It was the ceremonial unlocking of a spiritual vault. Within that vault lay something exclusively intended for you, the restoration of something you believed was irrevocably lost. the definitive answer to a question you had buried deep within your heart, the complete reversal of every injustice perpetrated against you, and the rightful reward for all the good you accomplished quietly when no one else applauded. And heaven is now gently whispering, "The appointed time has come. You, my cherished child, my beloved, you have no conception of how incredibly close you are to something heaven has patiently awaited for years to release." From the very first second of this spiritual season, a profound shift commenced, silent, yet absolutely certain. It did not arrive with clamor or celebration, but with a divine seal bearing your name, personally signed by God's own hand. It was not mere chance that your soul was drawn here. It is not a coincidence that you continue to read these words. Something you earnestly prayed for, perhaps long ago, has now reached its predetermined time. And I, Archangel Michael, have been dispatched to explicitly tell you, do not miss this. There are messages heaven permits to be conveyed only at the most precise and opportune moment. This is one such message. This is not simply a prophecy. It is a pivotal moment of alignment. A portal has been opened. Something that has been long delayed is now fully permissible. You might have presumed it was forgotten. But God never forgets what he inscribes with fire. He never forgets the one who cried silently at night, yet steadfastly maintained belief during the day. And you, my beloved, are one of those rare souls whose name was spoken in that sacred gathering of miracles. Before I reveal the remainder, pause for just a breath. If your heart has ever trembled upon hearing divine words, if your soul has ever sensed that more is transpiring behind the visible scenes, then now is the imperative moment to subscribe, not merely to this message, but to the entirety of the divine alignment heaven is extending. It is more than a simple click. It is a profound spiritual declaration. I am resolved not to miss what was specifically marked for me, because what is now being unveiled to you is not being shown to everyone. My child, you must understand that heaven operates according to specific patterns through distinct seasons. But occasionally an individual becomes so deeply aligned, so ripe with divine purpose, so precisely targeted with destiny, that God chooses to bypass the waiting period. This is precisely what has occurred for you. Regardless of how peculiar the timing might seem, no matter how long you felt overlooked, this season is distinctly different. This season did not arrive to test you further. This season arrived to abundantly reward you, but only if you recognize the divine sign before it dissipates. Beloved, I witnessed the moment God pressed his hand upon the celestial calendar. I saw your name being inscribed in radiant gold, not merely on earth, but within the hallowed courts of heaven. You were not etched in pencil. You were not relegated to a footnote. You were a central narrative, a divine blueprint hidden in plain sight. That is why things never unfolded for you in the same way they did for others. You were not created for the mundane. You were destined for divine interruption. And now that powerful interruption stands at your very threshold. Someone reading this right now is teetering on the brink of surrender. But listen intently. The reason your life did not completely shatter, the reason you are still standing, is because angels were strategically positioned around you, even when you were unaware. I, Archangel Michael, was personally assigned to safeguard what rightfully belonged to you, even when the persistent delays caused you to doubt. That delay was never a denial. It was a meticulous preparation, and that preparation concludes now. This miracle has been tracking you in the spirit for months. It has witnessed your tears, observed your confusion, and waited patiently behind locked doors. But today it knocks, not with deafening volume, not with dramatic flair, but with crystal clarity. The door is directly before you, and I have been sent to instruct you. Open it before it seals shut again. My cherished child, my beloved heaven, is observing intently to see if you will discern this moment for its true significance. It is not merely a message, nor just words on a screen, but a profound divine alignment that manifests once in a soul's entire timeline. There is no such thing as mere chance when it pertains to your divine destiny. If you are reading this now, it signifies that the spiritual gates have opened specifically for you. However, the window of opportunity is narrow. The portal will not remain open indefinitely, and I, Archangel Michael, was expressly instructed with utmost urgency to convey this message before it is too late. Do you perceive that stirring within your spirit? That subtle trembling that suggests something momentous is about to shift. That is not anxiety. That is not fear. That is the potent vibration of breakthrough, actively knocking at the very core of your being. A vibration that only your spirit can recognize, even before your mind can fully comprehend it. God has strategically moved something into position that was once entirely beyond your reach. Not because you earned it, but because He chose you before time itself began. He has patiently awaited this particular version of you, the version that still believes despite the tempestuous storms, still hopes despite the profound silence, still listens despite the overwhelming noise. And now, the divine delivery commences. My cherished child, my beloved, Heaven is observing intently to see if you will discern this moment for its true significance. It is not merely a message, nor just words on a screen, but a profound divine alignment that manifests once in a soul's entire timeline. There is no such thing as mere chance when it pertains to your divine destiny. If you are reading this now, it signifies that the spiritual gates have opened specifically for you. However, the window of opportunity is narrow. The portal will not remain open indefinitely. And I, Archangel Michael, was expressly instructed with utmost urgency to convey this message before it is too late. Do you perceive that stirring within your spirit, that subtle trembling that suggests something momentous is about to shift? That is not anxiety, that is not fear. That is the potent vibration of breakthrough actively knocking at the very core of your being, a vibration that only your spirit can recognize even before your mind can fully comprehend it. God has strategically moved something into position that was once entirely beyond your reach, not because you earned it, but because He chose you before time itself began. He has patiently awaited this particular version of you, the version that still believes despite the tempestuous storms, still hopes despite the profound silence, still listens despite the overwhelming noise. And now the divine delivery commences. Do not misinterpret this as merely another generic prophecy drifting through the air. This is a message inscribed in divine fire, indelibly branded into time, and specifically intended to meet your gaze before this crucial hour passes. A miracle has been unequivocally confirmed for your life, but not just any miracle, one that rectifies what was unjustly taken, one that provides ample compensation for what was lost, one that elevates what others declared would remain forever buried. This is the miracle destined to sever generational curses, the one that brings an end to a delay that has persisted for far too long, the one that will compel others to declare, "Only God could have accomplished this." But you must not miss the signal. You have now entered what heaven designates as the window of divine reversal. It is an extraordinary period where every circumstance that was arrayed against you begins to bend unequivocally in your favor. This will occur not through human logic, not through strenuous effort, but through an undeniable supernatural force. God is wary of witnessing your struggles. Heaven is deeply saddened by how long you have had to feign composure while breaking apart internally. The angels themselves wept when you concealed your pain to spare others discomfort. And now the Father declares, enough, it is time. But yet, even miracles are accompanied by conditions, my beloved. And the condition is this: you must act decisively when the divine sign appears. You must respond when the sacred call is gently whispered. You must move forward when God speaks. And this message is His whisper. This very moment is your sign. You are no longer the same person you were a while ago. Your faith has matured, becoming quiet yet incredibly powerful. You have been refined through the storm. You have bravely released attachments that once bound you, and God has taken profound notice. You have successfully navigated tests that no human eye perceived, but heaven meticulously recorded. And now the reward has been divinely authorized, not due to your perfection, but because of your unwavering persistence, not because you never doubted, but because you consistently returned to faith. And now I must reveal this profound truth to you. Someone within your ancestral lineage, perhaps a great-grandparent, a lost sibling, a departed parent, or a soul ancestor, once cried out to God in fervent desperation. They did not live to witness the fruits of their faith. But you, my child, you are the chosen inheritor of their earnest prayers. The answer they yearned for is now arriving through you. This is precisely why your pain felt so unique. This is why you never quite conformed to any mold. You were not born to blend in. You were born to profoundly break through. Heaven has patiently awaited your generation, not because you are flawless, but because you are strategically positioned. You are on the cusp of walking through doors you never even knocked upon. You will be presented with gifts you never explicitly requested. You will experience healing from wounds you had long forgotten you carried. Because God is not merely responding to your requests, He is responding to your impeccable alignment. And you are aligned right now more profoundly than you have ever been before, spiritually, emotionally, vibrationally. You are in perfect synchronicity with what heaven is now releasing. But, my beloved, let me be unequivocally clear. This moment is delicate. It demands heightened awareness. It necessitates discretion in certain areas. You cannot share this profound revelation with everyone. Not all ears are prepared to absorb the pristine purity of what God is orchestrating. Some individuals will voice opposition, not out of malice, but out of their own fear. Their inherent lack of faith may cloud your vision if you permit them too close. Guard your incoming miracle like a sacred, inextinguishable fire. Nurture it in stillness. Nourish it with persistent prayer, and trust it completely to heaven. God is about to astound even you with what He is poised to accomplish. Not because you have earned it, but because you have endured. Not because you are entirely ready, but because you are divinely chosen. Not because you are loud, but because you are deeply listening. Heaven is not waiting for your perfection. Heaven is moving because you were willing, and sometimes that willingness is all God requires to unleash an abundant flood of blessings. A receptive soul, an open heart, a resounding yes uttered amidst the unknown, and your yes, even in its quietest whispers, has carried profound divine weight. So now I urge you to remain prepared. Watch diligently, wait patiently. Do not dismiss the signs that appear in modest forms. Do not underestimate what begins as a gentle whisper. A whisper from heaven possesses more power than 1,000 human roars. God often speaks through small things initially, and what is coming next will arrive swiftly. My cherished child, my beloved, permit me to delve even deeper now. Because your heart has finally softened sufficiently to contain the profound truths I have been carrying for you. You may not yet fully grasp this, but heaven has been patiently awaiting this precise moment, the moment your spirit would be truly ready, when your heart would be completely open, when your deep hunger for truth would finally conquer your fear of disappointment. That moment is unequivocally now. You are no longer the person you were even a mere while ago. Something profound within you has matured. Even though life may have relentlessly attempted to crush your spirit, you still awakened each day with a flicker of hope. Even if you didn't consciously label it as hope, even if you felt emotionally numb, there remained a small, persistent flame within you that staunchly refused to be extinguished. That very flame is what heaven responded to. God never demanded your perfection. He only required your willingness, and my beloved, you were willing. You steadfastly remained open to the possibility of divine love. Even when individuals betrayed you, you did not completely shut the door, even when profound pain knocked. And now the King of Heaven himself is knocking at your door. I was shown that the arduous pain you have traversed was not a punitive measure. It was, in fact, a divine act of preservation. God strategically concealed you in a season that outwardly appeared as rejection, but was, in truth, an intricate form of protection. Some of the individuals over whom you wept were never destined to accompany you to your next destination. And had they remained, they would have irrevocably poisoned the very blessing that is now being meticulously prepared for you. So the loss was ultimately a gain. The goodbye was an act of mercy. The silence was a divine strategy, because what is rapidly approaching is too profoundly precious to be entrusted to just anyone in your vicinity. You have been fervently praying for restoration, but heaven is orchestrating a grand revelation. You are on the verge of comprehending why certain aspects of your life had to collapse. You are about to witness what was being meticulously constructed while you felt utterly forgotten. You are about to enter rooms that are unknowingly awaiting your arrival, and it may all feel like it is unfolding with astonishing speed. But do not be alarmed. The timing is not premature. It is absolutely perfect. It is God's divine timing. The dream you reluctantly shelved because it seemed impractical, dust it off. The vision you ceased articulating because others dismissed it with cynicism, revisit it. Because the resources that were non-existent when you conceived that idea now miraculously exist. Doors that were once hermetically sealed are now effortlessly swinging open. The very same individuals who previously rejected you may now attempt to reconnect. Not because they have genuinely transformed, but because you now emanate a new, potent light. You have been marked by heaven itself. You may have felt unseen, but you are under constant observation, not by the world, but by the celestial courts of heaven. There is a profound reason why your name is being spoken in places you have not yet physically entered. A reason why you feel an irresistible pull to relinquish things that once offered false comfort. A reason why your spirit perceives the subtle tremor of something entirely new, even though your external reality appears unchanged. That is because this pivotal shift is not about superficial appearances. It is about perfect divine alignment. Heaven is meticulously aligning everything. People, places, timing, every single element. And now I must declare this with both profound love and unwavering boldness. The dream you reluctantly shelved because it seemed impractical, dust it off. The vision you ceased articulating because others dismissed it with cynicism, revisited. Because the resources that were non-existent when you conceived that idea now miraculously exist. Doors that were once hermetically sealed are now effortlessly swinging open. The very same individuals who previously rejected you may now attempt to reconnect, not because they have genuinely transformed, but because you have. You now emanate a new potent light. You have been marked by heaven itself. You may have felt unseen, but you are under constant observation, not by the world, but by the celestial courts of heaven. There is a profound reason why your name is being spoken in places you have not yet physically entered. A reason why you feel an irresistible pull to relinquish things that once offered false comfort. A reason why your spirit perceives the subtle tremor of something entirely new, even though your external reality appears unchanged. That is because this pivotal shift is not about superficial appearances. It is about perfect divine alignment. Heaven is meticulously aligning everything: people, places, timing, every single element. And now I must convey this with profound love and unwavering boldness. If you disengage from this message and merely perceive it as fleeting inspiration, you will tragically miss the immense significance of this moment. This is not simply a pleasant reminder. This is a direct divine instruction. Pay meticulous attention, respond promptly. Maintain your position, act with resolute faith, not with paralyzing fear. Heaven is observing keenly to witness how you embrace this moment. Whether you cling to outdated mindsets or bravely allow yourself to step into the elevated identity God has already approved for you. You are no longer constrained by who others declared you to be. You are no longer bound by the adverse events that transpired. You are not delayed, you are not late. You are perfectly aligned with divine timing. This is the pivotal turning point, and I, Archangel Michael, have come to ensure that you do not miss it. My cherished child, my beloved, heaven continues to speak, and I remain here, steadfastly holding open the conduit between the realm of glory and the deepest recesses of your soul, because your reception is far from complete. In fact, what is rapidly approaching will conclusively confirm everything you have quietly suspected, but never dared to fully believe. You were always destined for something grander, something sacred, something so extraordinary that it would compel the world to marvel at how you navigated through it all. And I, Archangel Michael, am here to articulate the simple truth: you did not endure it alone. Heaven itself carried you. The profound truth is, God has been diligently preserving something precious within you that even you attempted to bury. You have repeatedly told yourself, "It is too late," or "I missed my chance," or perhaps "it was never genuinely meant for me." But, my beloved, that delay was not a denial. It was a divine strategic delay, not because you were unworthy, but because what was approaching necessitated a level of internal growth and refinement that you first had to traverse. You needed to be refined, not rejected. You needed to be stretched, not silenced. And now, after all this time, the transformative process is nearly complete, and the abundant pouring is commencing. What is currently being poured into your life is not merely a superficial blessing. It is a profound soul-level transformation, the kind of miracle that fundamentally redefines your identity, the kind that completely erases the deep-seated shame you have carried for years, the kind that will compel people to gaze upon you and declare there is something distinctly different about them. I cannot articulate it, but I sense it. That very sensation, my beloved, is the tangible presence of God resting upon one He has explicitly chosen. You have been selected not merely to receive, but to reveal. You are not simply being blessed so you can feel good. You are being blessed so you can become a living sign, a divine signpost that directs others to the unwavering faithfulness of God. A living, breathing testimony that God does not merely restore what was lost. He makes it far greater than it was before. If you believe this profound truth and are ready for God to make everything far greater, then seal it in your spirit and in the comments type "Am" and accept your magnificent restoration. There is an abundance of favor being transferred into your life. And this includes not only financial prosperity, though that too is imminent, but also the kind of wealth that profoundly alters atmospheres. The kind of wealth that spontaneously brings about healing simply by your presence. The kind of wealth that imparts clarity to others due to the profound wisdom that will emanate from your voice. The kind of wealth that is utterly impervious to theft because it has been irrevocably sealed by divine fire. I was expressly commanded to remind you now, your words once again possess potent power. Your prayers are no longer merely echoing off ceilings. Your voice is no longer silenced or hidden. The spiritual realm recognizes your inherent authority, and even now significant movements are occurring behind the veil. Some individuals who once casually dismissed you will be divinely compelled to create space for you. This will transpire not out of pity, but out of precise divine positioning. This is the true meaning of being elevated by grace. Do not be surprised when familiar, old environments begin to feel uncomfortable. That is not an indicator of failure, that is a clear sign that you have profoundly outgrown them. Your spirit has expanded, and what once seemed to fit perfectly will now feel far too restrictive. Do not force yourself to conform. Do not diminish your true self. Elevation frequently commences with a necessary separation, and heaven is actively clearing your path. You are going to begin perceiving signs in unexpected places, specific numbers, vivid dreams, words spoken by strangers that feel uncannily specific to your situation, music that profoundly resonates with you in the middle of an ordinary day, suddenly bringing tears to your eyes. That is because heaven is actively communicating with you. God is no longer silent, and the veil separating you from the spiritual realm is thinner than it has ever been before. And now I must reveal something profoundly sacred. There is an open door directly before you, but it is not merely a door of opportunity. It is a door of divine justice. What the adversary attempted to do to delay your progress, what individuals uttered to discourage you, what life circumstances sought to bury you, God is on the verge of overturning it all. You will not rise quietly with a whisper. You will rise with undeniable evidence. You will rise with profound honor. You will rise with unshakable authority. And there is someone, yes, a specific individual, who will re-enter your life not by mere happenstance, but by direct divine instruction. They carry a crucial word for you. They possess keys that you desperately need. When they appear, you will instinctively know. It will not be dramatic, but it will be profoundly divine. You must not disregard that inner prompting when it occurs. This entire moment has been meticulously arranged. My cherished child, my beloved, I feel the urgency from heaven intensify, not as an oppressive burden, but as a holy, irresistible momentum. There is still more to convey, more to awaken within you, more to deposit into your soul, because the miracle that was indelibly marked with your name is not merely approaching. It has already commenced its descent. The only question that now remains is, will you be still enough, receptive enough to grasp it? And if you have received a word of breakthrough today, don't let this anointing stop with you. Share this prophetic message with someone in your network who needs it, and activate the anointing to share that breakthrough with them. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's take a moment to reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is not a stroke of luck. It is a direct message from Archangel Michael to you. He is extending his hand and inviting you into a protected, high vibrational community where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise. This sacred principle is very simple, but it can change your whole life if you follow it. You will not just receive blessings, they will be multiplied and flow into every part of your life. By accepting this invitation right now, you are unlocking immediate, early access to powerful content and divine insights that are hidden from the general world. Now is your chance to enter a sacred space where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this sacred moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join Archangel Michael's inner circle immediately through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the direct, personalized messages that are specifically meant to elevate and empower your life. If you desire to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. And for those who feel called to amplify this work, a link to purchase the guided ebook is available, which is completely optional. But your presence, attention, and energy already mean the world. Take the step, your abundance awaits.